Boxing can sometimes be funny, sometimes a laugh, but most of the time, boxing is not a laughing matter. It's a serious sport, and the participants need to be taken seriously. According to Boxing News 24, an article was written with the headline, "Is Jamal Charlo cashing out against Dimitri Bivol?" This past Saturday, November 26th, after the Regis Prograis Jose Zepeda fight, Jamal Charlo, who was present in support of his friend Regis Prograis, was seen having a conversation with Dimitri Bivol. And an article written in Boxing News 24 by Dan Ambrose, the link will be in the description. Dan wrote that Charlo is pushing hard for a fight against Canelo conqueror Dimitri Bivol that has a cash out written all over it for the unbeaten WBC middleweight champion. Now, Charlo has been out of the ring for approximately 17 months. It says, after 14 years of playing it safe, fighting non-threatening opposition, why would Big Charlo suddenly want to break that trend by facing an elite level fighter in Bivol, who happens to be 21-0 now with 11 KOs after his recent victory over Gilberto Ramirez? It's pretty obvious when you think about it, Ambrose says. When Jamal returns to the ring next year, he may be forced to defend his WBC middleweight title against his mandatory Carlos Adames, and that's a fight that he will likely lose. Interesting, Charlo's being written off like this, but the article goes on to say, fighting only once a year for the last 2 years and coming off of what will be a 20-month layoff, the slurring Jamal will be overmatched against the younger 28-year-old Adames, who's 22-1 with 17 KOs. Additionally, the money that Jamal will make fighting Adames won't be huge because that's not a pay-per-view worthy contest. It doesn't matter if Showtime sticks Charlo versus Adames on pay-per-view. It won't bring in big numbers because it's not a fight that boxing fans are asking for. Adames is not a big name. On the flip side, if Jamal faces Bivol next at 168, it's a fight that will sell on pay-per-view because it can be marketed from the standpoint that the winner will face Canelo Alvarez next. Jamal's career won't be damaged as severely losing to Bivol as it would in getting beaten by Adames. In other words, Charlo would have the excuse of fighting a guy from a bigger weight class than him in Bivol, even though we wound that Jamal is bigger than him. What I don't like about this particular article is that it's speaking very condescendingly about Jamal Charlo, who is a world-class fighter and champion. Though Charlo has had some recent outside of the ring issues that may have led to his inactivity, it is not the type of circumstance where you kick a man who may have been down. And being down does not mean being counted out. In boxing, we have seen people come back over and again in the sport. And for certain media scribes to write such articles damning someone, it's not good. You can be critical of the fighter in the ring. You can talk about their styles, their lack of motivations, even the lack of quality opponents. But to surround that rhetoric with jabs at the individual, it stinks. Especially when you can mention another fighter's name at the same time within the same article who is a known drug cheat, someone who has fought under provisions and been given par gras to have success and to be able to thrive without facing quality opposition himself and lifting titles that were vacated or stripped and fighting opposition such as sparring partners for those very opportunities. If you want to open your mouth, allow all 32 teeth to be seen. Otherwise, the only thing that we can see is the forked tongue that comes out. When I think of Charlo and he addressing the possibility of fighting Dimitri Bivol, it was not something that I would take as serious as some might, because he still has some work to do at 160, and his WBC title, whether he defends it or it ends up getting stripped away from him, is high stake. Adamus will get his shot eventually, whether it's Charlo giving it to him or not. But Maul is still a quality champion and a fighter in this sport that is more than capable. Now, do I feel that he would have a chance against a fighter like Dimitri Bivol? Not with Bivol's recent success and activity. Maul needs to get back into the ring and start rebuilding. And one of the best ways to do that is to go to work. And if you're going to face Adamus, get in the best shape possible, mentally as well as physically, and come back and defend what's yours. Bivol has other focuses at this time. There's the possibility of an undisputed match against Artur Beterbiev, who's fighting in late January against Anthony Yard. If Beterbiev is successful, there's the possibility of a late spring, early summer face down against Bivol. A fight that many boxing fans would be finally looking forward to, seeing that these two combatants have circled each other in the division for quite a while. I want to see Charlo come back in the sport. I want to see him be successful. I want to see him as competitive as he can be. I am not looking to kick this man while he may be down. And I understand, like anyone else, he can get up and fight again. There is something to be said about fighters in the sport of boxing. Just when you count them out, they can show you something different. And I believe Charlo is more than capable. So here's to he coming back and resuming his boxing career. He's always entertained when he's fought in the ring. The only thing that he can be held accountable for in actuality is the inactivity. But sometimes motivation can come from places unknown. Will it be that way for Mal Charlo? I hope so, because he's still a young man. And in a sport where things can change with one punch, you never know. What do you think? And what do you think should be next immediately for Mal Charlo? Should it be Adamus, or should it be an interim fight to knock the dust off, the ring rust? I think he's more than capable. This is Stormy B Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let the world know, let me know what you think should be next for Mal Charlo. That's all I have for you at this time. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone, please remain safe.